Hey guys, Ian here from the Gamers Gaiden, back again with some, discount therapy, really. This week we're looking at a game called Three Fourths Home on the Nintendo Switch, and it is available on many other platforms as well. But I picked it up on the Switch, that's where it happens to be on sale this week. And yeah, we're going to do things a little bit differently in honor of the game, and we're going to do this in one single take. No cuts, just plow through. Um, yeah, and that kind of gets me to the gameplay elements of this. Really, there isn't any. This is a visual novel, so ultimately, you're just going to be making dialogue choices. There is an interesting mechanic in that the entire, I guess, conversation takes place through a car ride, and you do have to hold down a trigger to keep the car moving forward. And when you let off that trigger, the car actually slows down, but so does the world around you, to the point where everything actually stops eventually. And I think a prompt comes up to either like keep going or you can like save. But I don't really think you would have to save. It's not an incredibly long game. I finished it in I think about 2 hours, and that does include the epilogue, which is included in the extended edition that's available on the Nintendo Switch. So, getting into the story, you play a 24-year-old named Kelly who has recently moved back home after losing her job. Um, she gets up one morning and decides to drive out to her grandparents' barn, and I don't believe her grandparents are with us anymore. I don't think that's a spoiler either, because there's nobody. It's a dilapidated building that you're in front of. The game is very stylized, so and minimalistic too. It's very visually appealing. Yeah, so you start out at this dilapidated building, through some cornfields, and you get in your car, start driving, and you get a phone call from your mom, and the entire game takes place over this car ride. Through the course of that phone call, you'll talk to your mom, you'll talk to your dad, and you'll talk to your brother Ben, and it's all the dialogue choices that you make are kind of what will shape and kind of expose the relationships that you have with those family members, the relationships that those family members have with each other, the struggles that they might have, the things that they might be going through. It's a lot to digest and a lot to process. There is I don't want to get too much into it because I really would like some of you guys to actually play this because it was pretty enjoyable. I mean, it pushes the boundaries of what a game is, and I think this is a really great argument in the discussion of games as an art form, because really this is just conveying a story, which you have a lot of control over, and the visual style really stands out, but doesn't detract from the conversations that you're having. It doesn't pull you out of that. It is entirely text, so you do have to read. There's a nice soundtrack, and there is kind of there's a storm in the background, so you do hear the rain elements as well. But there is a point near the climax where the storm is getting worse and worse, and I will say I happened to be playing it as a storm was going on outside my home as well, and I feel like that just kind of impacted it even more for me, and really drove it home. So yeah, it was good. It really makes you think about your own relationships with your family. Plus, there's some really interesting extra content as well. Some really cool short stories that you could optionally read if you want to. One of them is part of the main story, but the other ones are just just kind of referenced. So it's nice that they actually went to the efforts of putting those in and being able to kind of immerse yourself in that world a little bit more if you want to. I enjoyed that the ending, even though there is an epilogue afterwards, I feel like both of them leave it really open to your interpretation as to how things have gone and how things are between Kelly and her family members. So there's a lot here. It really will make you think. It's solid recommendation from this guy. That's it for me. Like I said, I don't want to go into too much of the story because I really want people to be able to go into it without any expectations and really be able to digest it on their own. I honestly downloaded it. I mean, I go looking every week to find something that's going to be on sale and that looks kind of interesting. And the visual style is what caught me. I read the little write-up, but the little write-up that they have does it zero justice. This was very enjoyable, and I'm still kind of processing the game itself. Like there's a lot there to digest. I might even go back and play it again just to see if my different dialogue choices create different effects throughout the family. So it was good. It was good. You're gonna finish that, and you're probably gonna want to call your parents, or you'll finish that and realize that you're a pretty good kid. I don't know. Your mileage may vary, but check it out. It's on sale now until October 9th, and it'll set you back about $250. So it's the most expensive thing I've looked at so far, but still, $250. It's like what, price of a coffee, and it'll give you a couple hours of enjoyment and it'll really make you think about a lot of things. So check it out. Let me know what you think about this. I want you guys to go and play it. Go and play it and let me know what you think. Let me know how your experience was. And I will see you next week.